Good evening. Hope you had a wonderful Monday in the Lord. We are in the second chapter of Leviticus, and I was trying to wait up for my son from his graduation celebration, but it's getting too late, and he's hanging out, and I need to go to bed because I got to go to work. So we are in the second chapter of Leviticus, and there's one scripture that jumped out at me, and that's verse 13. And it's talking about how when the priests were making sacrifices to the Lord, grain offerings, that they had to put salt, apply salt on those offerings. And it says, "And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant promise of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offering thou shalt offer salt." And another version says, just put salt on each of your grain offerings. The salt of God's promise must never be left out of your grain offerings. And of course, I started thinking about Matthew, the 5th chapter, where it says that, it reminds us that we are the salt of the earth, right? We preserve, we make a difference. And 13th verse, same verse as Leviticus, the 2nd chapter, 13th verse of Matthew. The 5th chapter of Matthew, 13th verse says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor or her savor or its savor, then what happens? Wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, not effective." We don't want that. We want to have the same type of potency. We want the Spirit of God in our lives so that we can preserve, so that we can season, so that we can make a difference. But if we're good for nothing, then but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. And then there was another scripture, Mark 9:50, talking about the salt. It says, "Salt is good, but if the salt have lost its saltiness, wherewith will ye season it? Have salt in yourselves." You want the nature of the Lord in you so that you can make a difference and have peace one with another. As you all know, this is celebration season, and had a great time this afternoon, this morning, just, thanking the Lord for all his gifts. And you saw families and friends and villages celebrating graduates. But in the midst of that, you still heard of breaches. You heard of relationships being broken. Maybe, families, are estranged, members are estranged, and they didn't, attend the graduation. But God says, above all else, right, to as much as possible live with peace among each other, right? And then this verse says, have salt in yourselves, the effectiveness of yourselves, and have peace one with another. That's horizontal impact. Because if we don't have that, then how can we have the preserving agent to impact change out in the world? They'll be like, man, if y'all can't get along and you all are kin, what makes you think that we see anything different and will want what you have? So let's make sure that we have the peace of God that passeth all understanding, not only for ourselves, but for the world, so that we can impact change and old severed ties will be rendered for God's glory. Remember, it said in Isaiah 58, one of the advantages of fasting is to be a repairer of the breach, to restore paths to dwell in. And we want to do that with the salt that God has given us. So I hope you have a good evening, making sure that we have the peace of God and we have peaceful rest. Good night and enjoy.